Expedia and Visit Scotland invite you to come experience the beauty that awaits in Scotland. The sweep of wild coastlines, quiet lochs, and untamed landscapes. Fresh cuisine that feels rooted in the land. Come experience the kind of stillness that stays with you long after you leave. Plan your Scottish escape today at expedia.com/Visit Scotland.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Have you ever found yourself in a relationship that is on again, off again? You break up and then you start thinking about that person and then you end up back in a relationship with them. Adam here, and that's the very essence to what this hypnosis session is all about. Because I was working with a client that was in one of those in and out type of relationships, and deep down they kind of knew it wasn't right for them. And it has this concept of the straw that breaks the camel's back, that enough is enough. And they wanted to make a decision that was final. It had to have finality. Otherwise, there was a risk that they might go back to what they were doing before. This, at its essence, has two key components. One is the decision to end that relationship and not just sabotage it so that the other person leaves, but they end it on their terms for their reasons. It's way more empowering to do it that way than the relationship just kind of fizzles out or ends because someone does something and forces the hand of the other person. So intention is very important there. And then the second thing is about worthiness and feeling deserving of something better. They kind of knew what they wanted in a relationship, but this particular client has had a habit of being a bit of a Tarzan relationship experiencer, in the sense that they would hold on to one vine, they'd be in one relationship and swing, and they'd want to make sure that they could grab hold of another vine so that they weren't alone or single. And this client had been doing that ever since they had their first relationship. They never had a period of time where they were on their own. And what that does is it does two things. One, it creates a belief system that either you're not valuable or you're not capable of just being a entity that exists in the world unless you're in a relationship. And also, if you feel that you have to be in a relationship, there will be some kind of internal gaslighting where you magically see the qualities in the person that feels perfect simply because they're available and interested, not because they're right. And a lot of people think in terms of gaslighting that it's someone else does it to you, particularly narcissists. But actually, humans are more than capable of deluding themselves. There's lots of conditions based on the idea of seeing reality not exactly as it is. Psychosis is one of those things. Dysmorphia is another. Humans are more than capable of seeing things different from reality. Therefore, it was really important to this particular client that they felt that they could just be on their own, not need to be in a relationship, but if they were to be in a relationship, that they would be very discerning about that relationship. So if you can connect or resonate to any of these themes, this hypnosis session might be quite useful for you. Please bear in mind, though, that it was created for an individual, and therefore some of the references would have been absolutely perfect for the client I was working with and not quite relevant for you. Therefore, ignore any suggestions that aren't quite right, hone into the ones that are. And if you like the idea of working with me directly, have a look at some of the links in the description of this episode, and you'll see a suitability test, a webinar. You can book a consultation call with me. All of those things are in the description. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be distracted or disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, give permission to release. Release any tension, any resentment, any frustrations. They're not needed here and now. And as you find the rhythm of your breath, just allow each breath to get slower and longer. Breathing in deeper and exhaling for longer than you normally would. Because the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you can feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. A wonderful cycle of relaxation followed by release, followed by even more relaxation. And perhaps you notice your eyelids getting heavier, your jaw looser. Just allow those tiny muscles to let go. That's right. Deeper and more relaxed. And just become aware of the weight of your arms and your legs, of your body. Just allow gravity to facilitate depth. Feel yourself fully supported, knowing that you can let go. Because the surface beneath you holds you completely. And with every outward breath, imagine a pleasant, warm heaviness moving through you, through your shoulders, your arms, your hands, spreading down all the way through your body. That's it, down, deeper down, all the way to your feet, as you allow yourself to feel soft, relaxed, and safe. And I want you to imagine a staircase. Staircase or steps leading from a beach house to the beach. And it doesn't have to be a beach house you know, but it could be. And it doesn't have to be a beach you're familiar with. It just could be. But allow your imagination to show you whatever feels most useful. And as I count down from 10 to 1, you will imagine walking down the steps to the beach. Each step down the staircase, taking you deeper and deeper relaxed. 10, drifting down. 9, deeper still. And notice your body relax with every step. 8, shoulders loosen. 7, 6, halfway down the stairs now. 5, that's it, deeper still. 4, and feel the depth within. 3, and then 2. And just imagine there you are on the beach as 1 becomes 0. And perhaps you could imagine yourself on a beach, and this beach is close to a sheltered cove. Perhaps you could imagine warm air, the sound of waves breaking on the shore. And just imagine walking towards that cove. It's just a beach in your imagination. So imagine perhaps being barefoot on warm sand near clear water, with waves moving in a slow, steady rhythm, almost like they mirror the rhythm of your breathing. And this cove, this beach, this sand, this water, this sunshine is entirely yours. And somewhere there in the cove, imagine a comfortable place to sit, and maybe a sofa, a reclining chair, or perhaps something else. And as you sit down, notice something, that in this place you feel complete, whole, exactly as you are. Nothing is missing. Nothing needs fixing. Just you and the sound of the sea, and this deep, deep sense of peace. And as you sit in this peaceful place, allow yourself to notice what you notice. Perhaps you came to this place already knowing, because there's a quiet certainty that has been building inside for a long time. And what if today, in this still, clear space within your mind, you can finally hear it and feel it without interference? I want you to think of that relationship, and you've been brave enough to look at that relationship honestly, to see a cycle for what it is: connection, hope, real hope, a sense of highs and lows, but a Groundhog Day of frustration, of returning to a place. But each time, the breadcrumbs get little and smaller and fewer, so it costs you a little more energy, a little more of yourself. And what if today something clicks something settles, something shifts, quietly, permanently, not dramatically. No need for anger, but with the kind of calm certainty that comes from finally trusting what deep down you've always known. You can make a decision that feels tentative or temporary, but I want you to look within for a feeling of steadfast resolve. And I want you to feel that sensation, not as an idea, but as a feeling. Feel that feeling of being steadfast and absolute resolute, that a decision is a decision that removes any other possibility than the decision. No need to do anything to burn the boats or burn the bridge. The decision is more than enough. A resolve that is steady, that does not waver, that holds the line. And this isn't a decision made on the fly in a moment of heat. It's a decision made with due diligence. You've thought, and your gut, that same gut that has been right so many times, has been telling you this for a long time. So you don't just listen to it, and you don't just do it, that all of it feels aligned, that you're doing what needs to be done because it feels right. And when you do it, you harness that steadfast resolve, irrespective of what you feel afterwards. Steadfast resolve means that you stick to your guns. You stick to your decision. Decisions aren't always easy, but the right decisions are necessary. And I want you to notice that you're not blowing anything up and you're not burning anything down. You are simply choosing yourself. You're saying that your happiness matters, your future matters, and you can trust what you know deep inside. And feel that idea settle. Maybe notice a word or a sensation that represents this resolved, quiet certainty. Maybe a singular word like done, clear, mine, now. If a word or a sensation or a feeling comes up, embrace it. Let that anchor itself in you now. Feel like this decision is as solid as a rock. But let's explore something important. In the past, it wasn't just that you had hope. Sometimes you felt sorry, sympathy. And I want you to embrace that deeply compassionate part within. Because warmth and care are core to who you are. Real strengths, a wonderful quality. And perhaps you think you're needed. But I want you to release yourself. Release yourself from anything that doesn't serve you. To be a martyr is to sacrifice yourself for the benefit of something or someone else. Staying in any relationship out of pity is not the same as love. It's not kind, not to you and not to them. Because when you stay for pity, it's a pretense, a shadow of something real, a performance of a relationship. But when it's real love, and you're choosing to be somewhere because you want to be somewhere, that's not duty, that's not pity, that's not responsibility or obligation. That is real love that comes from real freedom. And I want you to imagine the moment you say the words. You do what needs to be done, not from a place of resentment, frustration, but from a genuine place of wishing them well. You can wish yourself well, you can wish them well, and still walk away. Because compassion and kindness sometimes is setting someone else free and setting yourself free. Because love starts with self-love, and compassion starts with self-compassion. And what if this is the chapter of your life where you fill your cup, you put yourself first, and all of those moments of inner dialogue, self-delusion, internal gaslighting, you've tried that. You can trust your gut, but you can't always trust those words you tell yourself. And the voice that says, maybe it isn't that bad. Maybe they'll change. Maybe this time will be different. Is fear wearing the costume of fairness. It's a habit of hope. And both of those things are understandable. But neither are truth. What's true for you and has been true recently is that you are capable of self-love and you are capable of enjoying your own company. So from this point forward, you can trust your gut. And when that familiar voice tries to soften the edges of what you know, you can return to this place of doing what's best for you, while still being caring and compassionate for others. I want you to harness a sense of pride for yourself as a person who has rebuilt themselves many times over. The resilience to weather many storms. So now, as this chapter closes, a new one opens. and you approach it with the most valuable thing a person can bring to a relationship. The idea that you don't need one. When people feel that they have to be in a relationship, swinging from one vine to another, needing to grab the next one, it forces one of two things: a rush decision or that internal gaslighting of convincing yourself that that person is exactly the right person you need. And you have experience now to know that's not true. You are not rushing to grab the next vine. In fact, you're not swinging high up in the air. Your feet are on the ground. Your house is yours. You have time. And when someone comes along who is genuinely worth your extraordinary capacity to love, they will earn it slowly, consistently, through what they do, not what they say. Words can just be words. Promises can be empty. But actions become evidence. And I want you to think of a property maybe you considered buying in the past, that if you had simply rushed in and bought it, it would have been a headache, a bad decision. But maybe you were more thorough. You did your due diligence, you did your inspections. And what you first thought was amazing, when you looked at it deeper, wasn't desirable at all. And if that's possible in a property, it's possible in a person. All that glitters is not gold. And what if you use this time to embrace being picky, discerning, holding yourself to a higher standard? That if it doesn't feel like it would be amazing, then you don't want it. What if you allow conversations to be conversations, dates to be dates, taking the time to get to know someone, to allow them to reveal who they really are to you. And then, and only then, if it feels right in the gut, then you can choose from a place of empowered discernment. You can choose that relationship without needing to be in a relationship. So imagine walking from the cove back towards the beach house with this steadfast resolve that is quiet, firm, and completely yours. The understanding that compassion begins with yourself. A clear trust right there deep in your gut. And the knowledge, the certainty that your best chapter is not behind you. It is in your future. You are the author and the character. Just imagine climbing up those steps back into the beach house, perhaps seeing yourself there in a dreamlike sleep. And very soon I will count from 1 to 10, and you will imagine awakening awakening in the physical realm with a sense of clarity, resolve, and huge amounts of optimism. So take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Connect and calibrate into the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.